The story begins in 2008. A terrifying disease called the Reaper virus suddenly spreads across Scotland. This was no ordinary virus. It was a microscopic, seemingly invisible monster that was rapidly killing people. Fear of the virus was also rapidly spreading in Glasgow. There was no medicine or vaccine for it. Thousands of people lost their lives within the first week. Government officials in London realize that if they don't act, the world will end. Therefore, they make a drastic and difficult decision. They impose martial law, and the streets are once again filled with soldiers. The government's plan is both strange and frightening. They decide to build a massive wall around Scotland. It will be 30 feet high and made of steel. This wall is built along the entire Roman border, dividing Britain in two. Scotland is completely sealed off, mines are laid in the sea, and planes are forbidden from flying in the air. The area inside the wall became a quarantine zone where the most infected people were located. They were left to die without treatment. We are shown that when the gate of this wall was about to close, everyone in the quarantine zone was trying to escape through it to somehow save their lives. But the soldiers were not allowing them. And in this chaos, we also see a panicked woman desperate to save her daughter's life. She runs to a helicopter and begs a military officer, "Please, my daughter is not infected with the virus. Take her away." The soldier tells her that she doesn't have a place in the helicopter. But the mother insists, "Leave me alone. Take my daughter." As she leaves, the mother hands her daughter a note with her home address written on it. She hopes that one day she and her daughter will be reunited at home. Inside this quarantine zone, everything slowly dries up. Food and other essentials run out, and people fight to survive. The streets fill with blood, fire, and corpses. After a while, the lights go out. The outside world assumes everyone in Scotland is dead, and the quarantine zone is history. But to find out if that's the case, the story jumps forward 27 years. It is now 2035. The world has forgotten the people in that quarantine zone. But the situation in Britain has also gotten worse. Due to drastic changes in the world, there are shortages of essential goods there too. People are hungry and unemployed. Here we meet the little girl who survived that day. We learn her name is Eden, and she is now a major in the domestic security force. She has become a very capable soldier. It turns out that one of her eyes is artificial, as she lost her real one in the quarantine zone. We see Eden in action when she raids a boat. She pursues a slave trader, following him through dark alleys to a strange location to capture him. She discovers that her own partner is being held hostage by the slave trader. She tries to convince the man not to make any mistakes, but he accidentally shoots Eden's partner. Seeing this, Eden shows no mercy and brutally shoots the slave trader to death. After the mission, she meets her boss, Chief Nelson. She is very sad at this time, holding the old address her mother gave her 27 years ago. A saddened Eden tells Nelson that she doesn't even remember her mother's face, and the house where the address points to is located in the same quarantine zone. They are not allowed to go there. And even if she ever goes there, she won't be able to come back. Nelson tells her not to lose hope, saying she will get a chance to go back one day. For now, go and rest. But there is no time for rest. News arrives that the same virus has begun spreading in London. Many people are found bleeding from their eyes and have strange wounds all over their bodies. Seeing this, everyone realizes the Reaper virus is back, and this time panic grips the London government as well. The Prime Minister is deeply worried, knowing that if it spreads, millions will die. He first considers the old method of locking down London. But here his secretary Canaris gives him some very harsh advice, telling him to let people die so the economy can survive and just find a way to save himself. But there was no way to save himself. Then, Canaris reveals a huge secret to the Prime Minister, revealing that he never stopped monitoring Scotland's quarantine zone. He shows him some satellite images and tells him that people have been alive there for years. If people are still alive there after 27 years, it means they found a cure for the virus. And now these people too can find a way to escape the virus within that zone. The government now devises a dangerous plan: send a team into the quarantine zone to find a cure. They have only 48 hours to complete this mission. They must return before London is destroyed. According to Nelson, this was a suicide mission, and he knew who to send on it. He first considered Eden for the mission, hoping she might find her mother there. Because Eden was a major, the mission is explained to her. She must find Dr. Marcus Kane's lab inside Glasgow City. She is told that Dr. Kane is the scientist who began searching for a cure for the virus even before the quarantine zone was established. However, when the quarantine zone was established, he remained inside the zone to help the people there. The government believes that Dr. Kane is still alive and has the cure. Eden arrives with her soldiers at the large wall. The area is already filled with automated guns. There she meets her team, including 2 scientists. They all board a large armored tank originally designed for warfare. Large doors open, and the team enters a land of death. The city of Glasgow has become a ruin. Buildings are crumbling, rusted vehicles litter the streets, human bones and corpses are also scattered everywhere. But then they notice something strange. Their vehicle suddenly collides with a cow, and when they look outside, they see many other cows grazing on the grass. Eden thinks that if animals are surviving here, it means some humans must be surviving here too. The virus isn't killing everyone. They need to find Dr. Kane, so they head to the old hospital. But this hospital is no longer a hospital, it is a ruin. It is dark and eerie. The scientists accompanying Eden set to work, searching through Dr. Kane's reports and other documents, and they find an old recording containing Kane's voice. Kane is talking about a time, 21 years ago, when the food ran out and people were killing each other. Listening to this recording terrifies everyone. While they are searching the lab their driver spots a girl standing nearby. He thinks she is scared and decides to help her. Going against orders, he takes her into his vehicle. But it turns out the girl set a trap. She kills the driver and summons several of her companions. These companions are actually killers killing humans because they have gone savage and now hunt and eat humans and animals. Their appearance has also become increasingly terrifying. With tattoos and paint on their faces, they all look scary. They have surrounded the entire team and now want to kill them. They attack the team with fireballs and strange weapons. The team tries to escape and run back to their vehicles. But the enemy is overwhelming. They set one of their tanks on fire, burning it down. The team which was heading towards the tank is scattered because of the explosion caused by the burning tank. This is what killed many members of the team. Eden and the 2 scientists manage to escape. However, the savages are everywhere here, and they are intense and bloody. Eden fights bravely in this chaos, but due to the sheer number of enemies, she runs out of ammunition, and she and her fellow scientist are captured. While another companion and another scientist escape, by hiding in the darkness, Eden and her companion are dragged away by the marauders. They are brought to a headquarters in the middle of the city. They are locked in separate cells, and here we meet the gang leader Sol. Sol was a completely insane man, also covered in tattoos and paint. Instead of killing Eden, he asks Eden, "Why did you come here from beyond the wall?" Sol actually hates the people of the outside world because they left the people of Sol's world to die and rot. Eden tells him that a similar virus has spread there, and she has come here to get the cure for it, which Dr. Kane is creating. Sol laughs out loud at this and explains that Dr. Kane is his own father and a liar. Kane always told everyone that the outside world was dead. But Eden came here and proved that Kane was lying, and he always wanted to prove this lie. Sol now decides to celebrate his victory. He summons his evil gang to a large concert hall. The scene there is utterly bizarre. It is all like a circus. Sol summons Eden's fellow scientist, and as soon as he arrives, the surrounding people pour petrol on him and burn him alive in a split second. Hearing his screams, Eden, locked in prison, realizes something terrible has happened to him. It turns out that these people burn people alive, cook them, and eat them. This scientist was their target today. At this time, Eden realizes that if she wants to survive, she must escape. She lures a man close to her, uses him to open the prison door, and then kills the guard, escaping. Another girl named Callie is imprisoned in a nearby cell. Callie reveals that she is Dr. Kane's daughter and Sol's sister. She tells Eden that she heard her and Sol talking. "I know you are looking for Dr. Kane, and I can take you there. He lives in a castle in the mountains." Hearing this, Eden enlists Callie to accompany them, and they attempt to escape. But on their way, Viper, Sol's friend and a very dangerous figure, confronts Eden. A fierce battle ensues. However, because Eden was completely trained, she deflects every sword and knife attack he throws at her, ultimately killing him. Afterward, Eden and Callie flee the city. Along the way, they find their two companions who had been hiding in the darkness. The foursome are now on the run, pursued by the marauders on motorcycles. They all run to a train station, manage to board an old train, finally escaping the mad gang. On the train, Callie tells the story of herself and her father. She explains that Dr. Kane lives in the jungles and rules a different world. While Sol's gang runs amok in the city, Kane lives like a medieval king, adopting old-fashioned ways in every way. They disembark from the train and go to a cave deep in the mountains. Inside this cave, a vast amount of goods were stored, which amazed Eden and her companions. When they emerged from the other side of the cave, they were astonished. The scenery had completely changed. There was greenery everywhere, horses, and the world looked exactly like it had been 100 years ago. And here, it seemed, humans were living simply. While they were observing all this, suddenly, some soldiers on horseback approached them. They were carrying swords and ancient weapons. It turned out that these were Kane's soldiers. Eden, after some thought, surrenders, knowing this is the only way to reach Kane. They are taken to a massive stone castle. Inside, everything resembles the Middle Ages. There was no electricity and lamps were burning everywhere. Dr. Kane was sitting on a throne like a king. Here, Eden speaks to him and tells him that the virus has returned to London. People are dying rapidly, and they need a cure to save them and humanity. Hearing this, Kane laughs hysterically and tells them the harsh truth: there is no cure for the virus. He explains that he never created any medicine. The people who survived in Scotland were not saved by any pill or vaccine. They all survived because of their natural immunity. They are survivors. Their bodies have fought off the virus. Kane tells her that this is a natural way of survival. Nature never wipes out all of humanity. But to cleanse this world, it inevitably brings a virus that kills all the weak, leaving only the strong to survive and continue the generations. Hearing this, Eden realizes that he is clearly refusing to help. And here, Cain also tells her that he deeply hates the outside world and its people. He cannot help them even if he goes there. Now, since Eden was his prisoner, having entered his territory without permission, she had to be punished. For punishment, he takes her to his arena and orders his executioner to kill her. Here, Eden displays her true passion and talent, fighting so well against all the soldiers present that she kills them all, then saves herself by taking their spears. These heavily armored men fall to her enraging Dr. Cain. While Eden is fighting for her life, Callie and the other doctors manage to escape. They exit the fortress and pick up some explosives known today as bombs. It is shown that Dr. Cain, enraged by the defeat of his men, ordered Eden to be shot. But before that could happen, Callie and her companions arrive and cause a massive explosion, saving Eden's life. This creates chaos throughout the fortress, and Eden, picking up her weapon, reaches her friends. The group flees and reaches an underground bunker behind the fort. There, they find something they never expected: a gleaming silver Bentley, a racing car that had been locked up there for years. They turn the key and start the car. It starts, and their joy knows no bounds. Eden, Callie, and a scientist board it. Sergeant Norton attempts to stop the knights sent by Dr. Cain. In the process, he is struck by a hail of arrows, and Eden is heartbroken to see him die. But now is no time to mourn. She presses the accelerator and drives the car away at hurricane speed. On the way, she contacts her friend Nelson on her satellite phone and tells him the truth: there is no cure. But there is a way to create a vaccine. The survivors are immune to the virus, and a new vaccine can be created from their blood. They were also bringing Dr. Cain's daughter Callie with them, whose blood could be used. This meant Callie was the cure for them. She quickly asked for the front door to be opened so they could take Callie back to their world. But the danger wasn't over yet. Sol and his gang of marauders found them. In fact, they were already waiting on the highway. Thus, a high-speed battle ensued on the deserted roads of Scotland. The marauders pursued them in their old police cars, bikes, and a large bus. Sol was chasing Eden in his modified car driven by rage because Eden had killed his dearest friend. In a fit of rage, Sol jumped out of his speeding car and landed on top of Eden's car. He seemed incredibly powerful at the time. He attempted to break through the roof and kill them. It was shown that Eden was driving with one hand and fighting Sol with the other. A scuffle breaks out inside the vehicle, and the doctor tries to help, but Sol refuses to stop. A bus carrying marauders pulls up on the road ahead, blocking the way. But Eden doesn't stop. She accelerates at full speed, ripping the bus in two as Sol slips from the vehicle. Sol eventually falls, and they finally defeat all the marauders and reach the wall. We are shown that a government helicopter had already arrived, unable to wait. But it turns out it wasn't Nelson, but the cunning officer Canaris, who had previously been manipulating the Prime Minister. He is the one who actually wanted the cure. Eden and Dr. Callie step out together. Canaris sees Callie and realizes she will be the donor for the vaccine. He is delighted to see her, but then he says something that reveals his true identity. He tells Eden to take care of Callie. We don't need the vaccine right now. In fact, he wanted the virus to spread further in London so that more people would die and the economy would become stronger. He reveals that the Prime Minister has died from the virus, and he is now the new Prime Minister. Another dark plot is revealed. Canaris himself spread the virus in London to gain power quickly. This time his plan was to unleash the vaccine when the virus spread more widely and become a hero to everyone. The scientist who was with Eden becomes enraged upon hearing this. He doesn't want to hand over Callie to this evil man. But here Eden puts her hand on her partner's shoulder and gestures to him, trying to convince him that they have no other option. Canaris takes Callie away in his helicopter, thinking he has won. As soon as he leaves, Eden's partner starts crying. He felt like he had lost. But then, Eden shows him the recording from her eye. The trick she played was very powerful. She had recorded everything Canaris said, and now she could do anything with it. She could blackmail Canaris and even fight for humanity. After this, she drives away. Shortly after, we see that her partner Nelson arrives here and goes straight to the address that Eden always had because he knew where he would find Eden. Nelson had raised her like a father. He knew everything. Here she and Nelson sit and talk. Eden gives him Canaris' recording and tells him to destroy it. Seeing this, Nelson asks her, "Your mission is complete. Would you like to go back now?" She refuses, saying she won't leave the quarantine zone again. This was her home, and she will stay here. Nelson returns to London, and as soon as he arrives, plays the recording on the news. Canaris' entire career ends there, and a vaccine is quickly developed and delivered to the public, saving many lives. In the movie's post-credits scene, we are shown the headquarters of the Marauders. They no longer have a leader, as Sol has died, and his friend has also died. While they were contemplating a new leader, the door suddenly opens, and Eden arrives with Sol's severed head. Since she had killed their leader, she was their new leader. The movie ends with them accepting their new leader.